Well, hey everybody, how are you guys doing? It feels so good to be back out in the truck again. You know, for the last couple of weeks we've had sub-zero temps and dangerously below zero wind chills, and my work schedule's been nuts. So it just feels really good to get out and get another video again for you guys. I'm just glad to be out. Well, today I thought I'd head over towards Stillwater and run up 95, which kind of runs between Stillwater, Minnesota and Taylor's Falls, and that's part of the Croix River scenic byway. So I thought I'd head that direction and check out some natural sites and some historic buildings. I'll see what I can find. Some things are on private property, and I won't go on private property, but I'll see what I can see from the road. And then it is January, so some things might be closed. We'll see. It could be hit or miss, but should be a good time. And if you're wondering about that area, it is a very historic area. You'll find lots of history in regards to lumber mills and logging in that area. Some of the oldest homes and buildings and industrial buildings like mills all existed in that area back in the mid-1800s. So it's a neat area to explore. Very historic. Very, very historic along the river. The first area I thought I'd check out is the Croix Boom site, just on the north side of the town of Stillwater, Minnesota. Established back in 1856, it's here where a barrier was made to collect the logs cut for the timber industry and floated downstream. Along the shores here, the logs were halted, sorted, and rafted to be later processed into lumber and other timber products. This boom site was the largest in the area, taking in millions of logs from over 150 logging camps until the demand for the site ended in 1914. This section of the St. Croix River shore was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1966. Now don't let the graffiti scare you. It's still a beautiful sight to view the river and hike along the sandstone cliffs. If you're ever in the quaint river town of Stillwater, it's worth a visit since it's so close to downtown. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to learn more about the boom site and plan your visit. Well, holy buckets, it's supposed to be warmer today than it has been the last 2 weeks. But that wind is cold today, especially along the river. This is a pretty neat spot. I can understand why nobody's here though right now, because it is chilly down there. I'll have to check it out once the leaves are here and the water's flowing. It'll be a pretty neat place to check out for sure. Just a few miles north of the boom site is another piece of Minnesota's St. Croix River history. You'll pass a dilapidated century-old home or two on the way to what remains of the historic Arcola Mills village. Alright, so the old mill is closed for the season in terms of winter, but I believe the hiking trails still might be open. I'm going to go ahead and check it out. I'll be very careful that I'm not on somebody's private property here. But I couldn't get any clarification from the Facebook page on whether or not the hiking trails around the old mill are open. So let's go check it out and see what we can find. This Grand Greek Revival style home was built by the brothers John and Martin Mower, who moved to this area to find success in the booming logging industry. This incredible home actually overlooked a small village that has now faded away with the passage of time. Here there was a general store, a small boat building operation, carpentry and blacksmith shops, a small one-room schoolhouse, and the Arcola Mill. Only the chimney remains of the old mill, but in its heyday, it was said to cut over 1 million board feet per year. Lumber that was used to build communities along the Mississippi from Stillwater, Minnesota, all the way down to St. Louis, Missouri. The Arcola Mill's Historic Foundation makes it their mission to preserve this home and this historic area. To learn more about this, I encourage you to check out the link in the description. Alright, well, the path continues on behind me and it loops back towards the house. I'm going to go ahead and just walk back up to the truck. We'll continue on and see what we can see along the St. Croix. Now, this is a pretty neat place, and I bet in the summer it's wonderful. It's pretty nice in the winter too, I have to admit. And I'm going to have to study more about this village of Arcola. What a neat little piece of history here along the St. Croix and Stillwater area. Very cool. The remains of the Arcola Mill aren't the only milling remains you'll find along this stretch of the St. Croix. In the town of Marine on St. Croix, you can wander the grounds of what remains of Minnesota's first commercial sawmill. But first, let's check out this old settler's cabin. In 1939, this cabin was moved to the current location here across from the Marine Mill's ruins. It was built in 1852 by Swedish immigrant Sven Anderson and was originally located about 2.5 miles north of Marine on St. Croix Village. Anderson is credited with bringing the first cattle into this area and becoming one of the first wheat farmers. This is definitely worth a stop when you're passing through town. Now it's just a jump across the street and a short walk on these paved trails to the remains of the Marine Mill. Built in 1839, it cut roughly 5,000 board feet of lumber. In its prime in 1877, it was turning out 2 million board feet with a crew of about 14 men. Financial depression, log jams, tornado damage, and low water combined to cause the failure of the mill in 1885. Today, only the ruins of the old engine house remain. Right now, the information placards along the walkways have been taken down and are hibernating for the winter. This is still a great place to check out on a nice winter walk. Now, I've been to the old Marine Mill site before, but never in the winter. And it's a little hard to tell just how cool it is in the winter, because if you come back in the summer, the walkways are lined with tons of blooming wildflowers. It's a very, very pretty site to check out. And it's right in basically downtown Marine St. Croix. It's a great place to eat across the street. And it's just a really neat place to go for a walk with someone you care about. And check out a little bit of St. Croix River history. It's a very cool place. Again, a little hard to tell in the winter when some of the ruins are kind of buried in snow a little bit. But if you get a chance to come up this way, do it in the fall or summer and you won't be disappointed. Tons and tons of wildflowers blooming. The river's flowing. Birds are singing. Woodpeckers are going crazy. And it's just a neat place for sure. Well, I just topped off my tank at a place called the Surf Yogurt Bar in Marine St. Croix. Just this little shop. Very cool, kind of eclectic things in there. And looks like they serve burgers and stuff. So if you're there, check it out. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to continue north out of Marine St. Croix. We're going to go to a little place called Log House Landing. I've never been there before. And it seems to be a pretty neat spot. And I think there's some historic significance too. So we'll see if there's any plaques or something that mark that. While this looks like any old boat landing, this entry point to the St. Croix River holds some historic significance. It's here back in 1850 where some of the first Swedish settlers crossed the St. Croix River, hiked to their homesteads, and established communities in the area, including the town of Scandia. This landing site is also known as the now-defunct community Otisville, named after the Native American and Civil War veteran Henry Otis. In the 1850s, he lived his summers in an old cabin here. That old log house was a public house during the Swedish immigration, but since 1912, it's been a private residence. An old stone fireplace still stands over the river's edge here, watching over the sportsmen who launched their boats into the St. Croix River. Well, behind me is the bridge that crosses over to Wisconsin into Osceola. I am on the Minnesota side, and it's, again, really neat place. It's a park here. There's some history about the water levels and the major flooding that's happened here, and then just some information about why it's important to protect this area. This is a very popular area for putting in canoes and things like that, and a great place to check out if you're ever up here on vacation. Definitely a nice spot to check out. I'm going to go ahead and cross the river and see if Cascade Falls is flowing here. It's just on the other side of that bridge. It's locked. Really? Really? Since the stairs were locked to go down to Cascade Falls via the main road in Osceola, I decided to go ahead and take the trail and come up on the riverside. It's a little steep, not too icy, but make sure you have some good shoes and are sure-footed enough. It's you could stumble, but it's not bad. I am down by the river here. Go ahead and take a look here. And that's where I was on the Minnesota side, just over there. Now slippery. Very slippery. Cascade Falls is definitely worth the hike. Look at it back there. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to climb up the stairs, and climb up the stairs, go up the stairs, and then go over the gate, as opposed to circling back the same way I went. I mean, it was fine, but I think I might try to do the gate and the stairs. If you want to get your steps in the summer and that gate's open, definitely come check out Cascade Falls. Man. Well, that was a great time and a great hike. I'm kind of winded. I'm out of shape. You know, I'm round. That's a shape, but that's it. But no, I had a great time, and I hope you guys did too. Again, there are a lot of historic and natural sites to check along the St. Croix. So if you're going to visit Minnesota and you're going to be in the Stillwater area or Taylor's Falls area, bring a map, check the sites. There's some great things to see. It's so worth it. Plus, there's some great state parks like William O'Brien, Interstate, and Wild River, which is north of Taylor's Falls a bit. So there's plenty of camping available, and again, just some great sites to check out. I hope you had a good time. I hope you stayed warm. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and a subscribe would help me out too. That would be wonderful. So until the next adventure, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.